Hey there, folks. It's a harsh reality. Fewer young folks than ever have the chance to snag their own slice of the American dream, a home. And let's face it, with prices skyrocketing year after year, it feels like the dream is slipping through our fingers. But here's the mind-boggler. If almost no one can afford to buy, why do homes keep getting pricier? The notion of saving up a whopping 20% down payment sounds like a pipe dream, right? A family home, the cornerstone of your financial stability, seems further out of reach than ever. It's meant to be where you build a future, where every brick laid adds to your legacy. Believe it or not, owning with a 30-year mortgage is lighter on your wallet in many cities than renting. It's a path to not just immediate wealth, but a brighter financial horizon down the line. You're aware of this, but like most, finding the means might feel like a puzzle with missing pieces. Before I reveal who will purchase homes if nobody can afford them, please take 2 seconds to help me and hit the like and subscribe if you're enjoying the video. Each like and subscribe is fuel for the algorithm that helps support this channel. Thank you. Now, back to what I was saying. The sad truth is that owning a home feels like an unattainable dream for many Americans. The cost of living continues to rise, wages don't keep up, and home prices just keep climbing higher. It's a challenging situation and there are no easy answers. But by staying informed and being strategic about your savings goals, you can still work towards this important milestone. Remember to be patient, persistent, and never stop striving for the home of your dreams. Saving for a home can be daunting, especially considering that 57% of Americans can't even afford a $1,000 emergency fund. A significant portion of the population is likely struggling to put away enough for a down payment. Even if you can afford to save some money each month, it's essential to keep in mind that 14% of your take-home pay is just the minimum amount you should aim to set aside. And sadly, that's barely keeping up with inflation as house prices continue to climb. But what about all the other expenses you must juggle daily, like rent, groceries, and transportation? For most families, these costs also increase faster than their wages, making it incredibly challenging to put away enough for a down payment. Banks and lenders know many families simply can't keep up with these savings targets, so they've shifted the goalpost. It's not enough to save a couple $100 each month or even several thousand over the course of a year. You need to save tens of thousands of dollars just for a down payment, and that doesn't even account for closing costs, property taxes, maintenance and repairs, and more. Did you know that according to a report by Redfin, the rate of homes that were put up for sale in 2022 took a drastic hit? In fact, only 21% of homes listed for sale in 2022 were considered affordable, a huge decrease compared to 60% of homes available in 2021. What's even more alarming is that in just a year, 2/3 of all the housing units considered affordable in the U.S. became too expensive for the average American. This means that folks already struggling to afford a roof over their head will now find it even harder to find a place to call home. It's a concerning trend that deserves more attention and effort because everyone deserves a safe and affordable place to live. According to the findings of this survey, the current state of housing affordability in the market is the worst it has ever been. But what does this mean for us, the common people? Well, it implies that buying a house comes with much more significant financial obstacles than we could have ever imagined. Whereas in the past, most of the population could afford a home without much hassle. That is no longer true today. The consequences of this are twofold. Firstly, many people cannot realize their dream of owning a house, which has become more of a luxury than a reality. Secondly, and perhaps less obviously, the hike in house prices has slowed down, meaning sellers cannot sell their properties at the desired prices. This may seem like a good thing, as a discount might look appealing to us home buyers, but it's not that simple. You see, the bottom line of home sales depends on a lot more than just the price of the house. Things like mortgage rates, economic conditions, and job security also come into play. For example, if a potential buyer can't secure a mortgage, even a heavily discounted house would be of no benefit. Furthermore, even if the house prices were to come down, it doesn't automatically mean everyone can afford them. The market has reached a point where buying a house has become less of a necessity and more of a symbol of status and wealth. This is where things get tricky, because there is an industry that quite literally survives on this inequality. They're doing everything in their power to ensure that expensive houses continue to be seen as desirable and out of reach for most people. When it comes to buying a house, there's a misconception that you need to save up the total amount before making a purchase. However, the truth is that you usually only need to save up for a down payment. Regrettably, due to the continuous escalation of housing prices, it can be challenging for individuals to keep pace with the expenses. Saving for a 20% down payment is becoming less and less realistic as inflation eats everything away. According to data from Zillow, the average cost of a home in America in 2020 was around $230,000. However, in less than 3 years, the average home price has jumped up to $330,000, a staggering $100,000 increase. This is a significant price hike that many people are struggling to keep up with, especially those whose wages haven't kept pace with the soaring cost of living. Forbes recently released a report on the financial status of the average American worker. According to their findings, the average salary for Americans is around $59,000 per year before taxes and deductions. If we take into account federal taxes and FICA deductions, the average American takes home roughly $49,000 annually. Now, if this average American attempted to save a seemingly ridiculous 70% of their take-home pay to afford a home, it still might take them upwards of 3 years to accumulate enough savings to meet this goal. Why? Because the ballooning prices of homes are growing at a rate that no one's income is growing at. Unfortunately, the discrepancy between the amount of an average person's savings and the average cost of a home is currently drastic. Recent data analysis conducted by financial experts has shown that, on average, a home essentially earns as much money as the average person. This implies that most people only save enough to make a down payment. Thus, the American homeowner's dream is becoming increasingly difficult and an unreachable goal for many. According to a recent National Association of Realtors report, the average down payment for first-time homebuyers is just a meager 7%. That's right, only 7%. On the other hand, if you are a repeat purchaser who already has some equity built up in your previous home, the average down payment is a sweet 17%. 17% may not still seem like a lot, but it's actually a much better position to be in financially. By putting down a larger down payment, you'll be able to secure a lower interest rate on your mortgage, which means you'll end up paying less in the long run. So it's worth considering if you are able to buy a new home. If you struggle to make ends meet in a city known for its high cost of living, don't fret. There is an easy solution to this problem that will improve your lifestyle and save your money. Simply move interstate to another city with lower rents and property prices. For instance, San Francisco, Seattle, and New York City are renowned for their high cost of living. However, if you decide to move to cities such as Houston, Dallas, or Atlanta, you'll be pleased to learn that your hard-earned money will go much further than in a big city. Instead of buying a tiny apartment or home for a hefty price, you can purchase a larger home for the same amount. So the question remains, who is purchasing homes if nobody can afford them? Recently, big investment groups like BlackRock and real estate investment trusts have become major buyers of homes. They have a lot of money and are purchasing a large number of residential properties. This is causing worries about whether regular people can still afford to buy homes. BlackRock, a big global investment company, has been buying a lot of rental properties because there is a high demand for them. They use their large financial resources to buy many homes at once, sometimes offering more money than individual buyers and making prices go up in certain areas. Real estate investment trusts are like money pools where lots of people invest to buy different kinds of real estate, including homes. They give investors a way to be a part of the real estate market without actually owning property directly. The money for rights going into rental properties has made it even harder for regular folks to compete in the housing market. This means that many people are struggling with higher prices and not enough available homes, which is causing worries about whether the average family can still afford to buy a house. Hence, it's essential to realize that the issue of affordable housing, if left unaddressed, will only deteriorate. It's a significant problem that concerns everyone, and it's about time we started paying attention. Of course, there is still room for a glimmer of hope. It's not all doom and gloom yet. But the truth is that things could potentially get a lot worse before they get better. It could mean that more families will have no choice but to be renters for the foreseeable future or continue living in unsuitable conditions. The good news is that we can change this. We can take small steps towards creating more affordable housing, like voting for the government to instill policies that protect the housing market and prevent exploitative practices. However, the real change will come when we start valuing houses for what they are meant to be, a place to live, instead of seeing them as an ultimate symbol of wealth. Thanks for watching, and please make sure you subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, leave a comment below, letting me know what you think about the housing market and prices in your area.